In a world where athleticism meets grace, two extraordinary talents have risen to dominate the volleyball scene. Melissa Vargas, a powerhouse with a spike that rattles opponents, and Zehra Gunes, a towering force, elegant and precise at the net. They're not just athletes, they're icons, warriors, and to some, a mystery. Because beyond their unmatched skills on the court, a question has emerged. Is their bond simply the product of years of teamwork? Or is there something deeper? Something more? This is the story of Melissa Vargas and Zehra Gunes, their rise, their connection, and the rumors that won't go away. Before they shared the court, their journeys began worlds apart. Melissa Vargas was born in Cuba in 1999. From a young age, she showed exceptional talent, quickly becoming one of the most feared outside hitters in international volleyball. Her jump, her power, her precision, all unmatched. But her early years were not without setbacks. Injuries and limitations within the Cuban Volleyball Federation pushed her to seek opportunity elsewhere. That journey led her to Turkey, a new country, a new beginning, and eventually, a new nationality. There, she didn't just find a team. She found a platform, and perhaps something more. Zehra Gunes, born in the same year, 1999, grew up in Turkey with volleyball in her veins. By her teenage years, she was already seen as the future of Turkish volleyball. At one point, 9'7" meters tall, she possessed not just height, but poise. Her timing at the net, her blocks, and her leadership made her stand out. Beyond the court, she gained attention for her fashion-forward style and calm, grounded personality, a rare blend of power and elegance. So, when these two talents finally came together, one arriving from Cuba with fire, the other rising from Istanbul with grace, it felt like destiny. From the first match they played side by side, the chemistry was undeniable. They moved with unspoken understanding, covering each other's weaknesses and amplifying each other's strengths. Point after point, win after win. They celebrated not as individuals, but as one. But their connection wasn't just about synchrony, it was electric. In the 2023 CEV European Championship, during a tense semi-final match against Italy, Turkey found itself trailing in the fourth set. The pressure was immense. Every point mattered. The ball soared toward the back row. Melissa leapt into the air, smashing down a cross-court spike that echoed through the arena. The crowd erupted. And the first person there to meet her in celebration? Zehra. They collided mid-air in a spontaneous chest bump, arms around each other, their faces lit up with raw joy and relief. The cameras caught the moment, Zehra whispering something into Melissa's ear as they jogged back into position, both smiling like they knew a secret the world didn't. Moments like these weren't rare. They were a pattern. Whenever Melissa delivered a critical point, Zehra was always the first to reach her. When Zehra scored a momentum-shifting block, Melissa's voice could be heard above the roar, cheering her on. The mutual encouragement wasn't just supportive. It felt instinctive, like two parts of the same heartbeat. They seemed to move in rhythm. During rotations, they'd share glances that needed no words. During timeouts, even surrounded by the team, the two often leaned toward each other, discussing strategy in hushed tones. When nerves ran high, their calm connection grounded the entire squad. There's one play fans will never forget. The fifth set against Serbia in the 2023 Nations League final. With the score tied, Zehra set a quick transition block, while Melissa dropped into position for coverage. As the Serbian hitter swung, Zehra leaped high, pressing her hands over the net just in time for a stuff block. The ball hit the floor. Match point. Melissa didn't hesitate. She sprinted straight to Zehra, lifting her off the ground in a moment of pure, shared glory. Commentators called it the soul sync. It was volleyball, yes, but it was more than that. They weren't just reading the game. They were reading each other. And that's what made them dangerous. That's what made them iconic. Off the court, their connection only seemed to deepen. Fans began to notice how close the two had become. At team dinners, they sat together, laughing like old friends. On long flights, they were inseparable. And during media appearances, their body language often mirrored each other's, leaning in, exchanging smiles, finishing each other's thoughts. What began as admiration turned into speculation. Were they just teammates who bonded under pressure? Or was there something more personal between them? Social media became a breeding ground for theories. Photos of lingering hugs, shared hotel selfies, and matching outfits sparked debate. Clips from games showed moments where Zehra whispered into Melissa's ear, and Melissa turned, smiling with a warmth that seemed to transcend friendship. The fans noticed. So did the media. Soon, Turkish tabloids began running stories. Articles dissected every glance, every embrace. Accounts dedicated to Zehra and Melissa popped up across Instagram and TikTok, filled with slow-motion edits and romantic music. Hashtags like Manchu Zelissa and Fi Volley Soulmates trended as fans shared their own interpretations. One viral comment read, "You can't fake that kind of chemistry." Still, neither of them addressed the rumors. No confirmation, no denial. And in that silence, the mystery only grew. But the story doesn't stop there. Zehra Gunes had been in a public relationship before with Eren Ali Dilek, the son of a prominent businessman. Their romance lasted over a year and was frequently seen in the public eye. They eventually broke up in 2022, and since then, Zehra's personal life has remained private. This only added more fuel to the speculation surrounding her and Melissa. Were people simply projecting a story onto a close friendship? Or were subtle signs pointing to a relationship that both women had chosen to keep behind closed doors? The truth is, nobody outside their circle really knows. But maybe that's the beauty of it. Because whether it's romantic or platonic, one thing is clear. The connection between Melissa Vargas and Zehra Gunes is rare. In a sport built on trust, teamwork, and emotional resilience, they've found something in each other that elevates their game, and perhaps their lives. They win together. They grow together. They celebrate, cry, and fight side by side. Not just as teammates, but as something even stronger. So, are they secretly in love? Or just kindred spirits brought together by fate and volleyball? Until they choose to share their story, the world can only wonder. But maybe, just maybe, the label doesn't matter. Because on and off the court, what they share is real, powerful, and undeniable. And in the end, whether it's love, friendship, or something in between, their bond has already made history.